Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. It's Wednesday, January the 11th. Is it the 11th or the 10th, Sean?
It's the 11th.
Yeah, the 11th. They all blend in together, man,
Yeah, especially when you look at games ahead of time. You're like, what day is it? I don't think, it's like.
And when you work 7 days a week, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm very fortunate to be joined not only by one great handicapper, but two, Mr. Jesse Schul, and as you just heard from Mr. Sean Higgs. And first time that we're doing three guys in the same podcast, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of that during college basketball season, since we have bigger schedules in college basketball, and that seems to be where all the interest is. And I think we can all agree the NBA, a little tough to give out too far in advance because you never know who the hell's going to be playing in an NBA game. Anyway, without further ado, Jesse Schul, the man who is the terror of Thailand. How are you, my friend?
Good morning, gentlemen. And yeah, please send the trick questions to Sean. Things like what day it is. That's way too complicated. It's probably a different day where I'm at than it is where you guys are at. But
yeah, man,
I'm feeling good after closing the college football season with a big win on Georgia in the Natty. I still got to polish up my college basketball though. And let's start today with the free picks on this show.
Yeah, we got some good ones today, folks. Before I get to Sean Higgs, let me just review. Jesse's going to be covering Alabama and Arkansas. Sean will be taking a look at the UConn Marquette game, and I'm going to take a look at TCU in Texas. Anyway, Sean Higgs, my friend, how goes it?
Not too bad. It's just another day, Ross. We're grinding out college hoops. Yeah. And you mentioned the NBA. Like, how crazy is that at like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, you can't even think about betting NBA because you don't know what's going on. I mean,
right. Several books don't even have lines on some games. And
I don't even look at the NBA. And people, I do the Midday Morning Show guys. People are like, oh, do you like the NBA? And I'm like, how the heck? I don't even look at the NBA. Why even bother looking at it? I got other things to look at that are more important. There's basketball. 150 college games on Saturday. You got to be ahead of you can't just jump up. Oh, it's 7:30 Saturday morning. Let me look at the college basketball schedule. You got to do this a day ahead, and that's for any sport. Like who goes into the day before? Like, I got to get ready for tomorrow. You don't do that. That's not the way you're successful. And for the NBA, I can't stand the NBA. No betting allowed.
Yeah, there's no veteran rest. Allowed. No veteran rest in college basketball. So you could rest assured that in terms of roster and availability, unless it's well documented, you could just plan on, the full roster being there every time. So that's not the case in the NBA. It's not even injury related. But like Sean says, a lot of times the availability of players, I mean, if they get a hangnail and they're playing back-to-back games or back-to-back nights, they'll probably sit this guy out. The veteran rest concept, we never know when that's coming. There's no rhyme or reason. One day a guy might play 3 games in 4 nights. The next day on the second game in 4 days, they decide to give him veteran rest. There's no explanation. So anyway,
we can do a whole show on why just don't bet the NBA or just live bet it. You want to sit in front of your TV all night and live bet a game? You could probably make. I know. You know what? You can make money live betting NBA. I'm going to say you should be able to. You sit there and watch it. It's a joke. It's a joke. People want to say, oh, it's scripted, it's rigged. That's a sport I can't even. 23-3 run to start the game, and it's tied up at halftime. Somebody's up 40.
There's no lead that's safe in the NBA,
and that's forever, right? NBA, like everybody makes a run in the NBA.
Yeah,
I can't. No, thank you,
Jesse. Any thoughts on our?
I'm a big fan of Sean's Midday Money Show, and I hear him moaning about the NBA all the time, and I agree 100%. I am. The NBA actually disgusts me. It really does. However, I still bet it, and I'm still top 5 all time at picks and parlays with NBA, and right up there at sports capping. I try to see these things before they happen. I try to look at coaches like Kerr and Pop and know their tendencies, and I don't wait for them to announce that they're resting guys. I try to forecast it in advance. I'm not always right, of course. If I can be right 60% of the time, I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, and just
I'd be happy being right 50% of the time in the NBA. I can. I probably lose viewers all the time because I'm like, I'm not. Don't bet the NBA. I tell them, don't come in here if you want NBA. I'm not. I can't get it. I can't. It just frustrates me to no end.
Tell us
Suit up. You play 2 games a week.
Tell us
you play 2 games a week. I say, listen, these cats make $22 million a year. They don't care if they're going to suit up at night, and yet you're coming home from work or you're out with your friend. You want to bet a game? They don't care. Why? How are you betting on that?
Yeah.
How are you betting on that?
Yeah, I know. I'm very selective in the NBA. I don't go to the extreme where Sean does, where he says don't bet it at all. But I'm a lot more selective because I have to be, and I do have a winning record in the NBA since last April 1st, somewhere around 57%, which I'll take. And you could hear some of the viewers out there saying 57%. I could do that on my own. Yeah, well, do it for 8-9 months and then talk to me. All right. Time to get to the meat and potatoes. And then we'll go around the horn, give our free picks. And then, folks, we'll tell you what we have going forward and what we may have going on tonight and how we've been doing of late. So let's start with Jesse. I'm interested to hear both Jesse and Sean's opinion because 2 of my premium picks that I'm about to post after we get off this video are Alabama and Arkansas and UConn and Marquette, those games. So a lot of pressure on you guys, right? So, and I know you can handle it because Jesse's got broad shoulder. You know what, Sean? Did you ever see the video of Jesse doing 300-pound reps where he
do the 225 bench presses like this NFL lineman?
What was it, Jesse? You outdid George Kittle.
George Kittle, 19 reps. Yeah.
There you go. He's done more reps. He did more reps on video at 225 pounds than George Kittle did at the NFL Combine prior.
46 years old, mind you.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could bench 225, although I should be able to because I used to pop out like a 50 spot of push-ups in a minute when I was like 320. So I should be able to bench 225 since I can bench my own weight, but push up my own weight, which is just as difficult. But I've never tried the 225 bench.
So those young chaps out there that watch the videos, we appreciate you mightily, but you get a couple that come in and call us old men and stuff like that. The texted tough guys, they're very good at writing stuff down and acting like a tough guy. Let me assure you, folks, I don't care how old you are, you'd have your hands full with all 3 of us. So anyway, we're not here to fight. We're here to make.
I got big hands. I got palm basketballs. I got palm basketball in my hands. I got big hands.
You know what they say about guys with big hands. Anyway,
big gloves. Need big mittens to cover my hands. The cold. Shoveling snow.
All right. I don't think that's what he was talking about.
Oh, I don't know. I thought this is a family show.
Anyway, our family. Alabama and Arkansas, Jesse. Right now, we got a pick'em game in 153.5. What do you got for us?
Well, Ross, this is a game that I definitely want to watch. It is a very difficult game to handicap, though. You look at number 4, Alabama. I mean, they've already won a couple big games on the road. They beat Houston in Houston when Houston was ranked number 1. They beat a ranked Mississippi State team on the road. And this game is a pick'em, essentially. You can find either team +1 or -1, depending on the book. But, the Alabama's only lost twice. Arkansas has only lost 3 games. Both teams are 8-0 at home. If you look at the history between these 2 teams, the home team tends to do quite well. The home team has won 7 of the last 10 head-to-head. Arkansas has actually got the better and won 7 of the last 10 straight up. And Arkansas has won 4 straight home games against Alabama. I'm a little surprised here with the line. I would have thought the public would want to back Alabama here, even on the road, just how well they've played. I mean, they really do look great. It's really difficult for me to want to bet against this Alabama team. I'm not getting all that geared up and excited about it. But, I mean, Arkansas is a tough nut to crack. You're in their house. You haven't done well here in the past, and they don't really show me anything to suggest that they can't handle this. And then you throw in a potential, and maybe some would disagree with this, but they just beat Kentucky, Alabama. They beat the snot out of Kentucky. And even though Kentucky's having a down year, and maybe that game doesn't mean as much, I still think you beat Kentucky up. You might suffer a letdown after that. This is a tough spot for Alabama, even though I don't love the line. Arkansas was 17-1 at home last year, straight up. I'm definitely not betting against them at home. I'm going to strong lean on Arkansas here at a pick'em.
So you like Arkansas as a pick'em over Alabama. There you go, folks. That's from Jesse Schule. I can't really comment on that game because I got the winning side, and I'll have it posted at my site, rbwins.com, very shortly. But I know one guy who's never at a loss for words when it's talking about college basketball, and that's Sean Higgs. Any comments on that game, Sean?
I everything he said, right? Bama. Why is this line still sitting at a pick'em like this? I mean, it's crazy. I believe it. I'm against them though. I'm sorry, Jess. The Alabama to me is you've seen them beat Houston, you've seen them crush Kentucky again, not good. And the part of me, the opposite, the handicapper side or whatever, looks at it like, Arkansas should be a dog, right? Alabama has the better resume, bigger wins, I guess, bigger schools and stuff like that. And yet still hanging steady here. So Arkansas looks like the play, should be the play, home. I've beaten them in the past. And everything with Alabama being hyped up. I'm sure this line will probably go to Arkansas plus points by game time because people are going to probably take Alabama once the talking heads get on TV and start saying it. But I still think Bama just looks like a really good team. Yeah. I mean, I thought Houston was the best team. I think about Houston, I worry about. Sometimes they just go in these scoring droughts. Like they can win 90-44 or, 55-50. But Bama just looks fabulous. My heart says Arkansas, but I'm going to put a little $2 down there on the Tide,
Well, while we got you available and while you're still talking and while your mind is working very well.
I've never been accused of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're three old men, all right? Right. You know what I mean? Jesse's in his mid-40s for crying out loud. The guy's calling him an old man. Where's that going? Anyway,
I'm late 40s, Ron. I don't know how old you think I am. I'm only 48. I'm almost. I guess I'm close
you're deceiving because of the bald head. So anyway,
whoa, we're not bald. We're shaved. It's a shaved head.
Okay,
it's a big difference.
You do have hair, but you shave it. All right, there we go.
Look at my eyebrows. If I kept hair on my head,
listen. If you grew your hair out, you might be one of the Beatles for crying out loud. Anyway, for all I know.
The Beatles. Now you're dating yourself. It's more like I don't even know what a heavy metal.
You weren't even born when they came out, for crying out loud. Both of you guys.
What about Tony Soprano? He's got a bit of Tony Soprano.
I got a little Tony Soprano, yes.
Yeah, every time I thought I was out, they'd pull me right back in. Anyway, Sean, UConn and Marquette, take it away.
Yeah, so, not that it's Bama, Arkansas, but same kind of thing. You have a UConn team. It's a top 5 team, and Marquette's towards the bottom of the rankings, tough little squad. And this spot, I'm siding. And I say, like, you can't pick and choose your spots. Like, if you like Arkansas, you got to take Marquette. You can't go either way. I'm going opposite day. It's opposite day today on Wednesday. I'm going Marquette here as a home puppy. UConn, again, really good team. And I like UConn. I think them and Houston. I think you got to throw Alabama. Maybe somebody out of Big Ten will make some kind of Final Four run. Very good team. But Shaka as a dog, that's where I like them. They played a tough schedule. At Nova, at St. John's, Purdue, you beat Baylor by 26 at home, beat Creighton here, you beat Baylor, you crushed Baylor here. So at home, these guys play, as Jesse was saying, a home court, good team. You're going to get your best effort. UConn, I can't knock UConn. I did read an article, though. How about they haven't won a true road game over a ranked team in almost exactly 9 years. January 16th, 2014 is their last road win at Memphis. So all their wins, they're on neutrals. They're on neutral kind of courts. Like, we're playing St. John's, but it's at MSG. It's not really St. John. You know what I'm saying? They're neutral. Not. Which is an interesting kind of fact. You go back because UConn's, a pretty good team. You think they can kind of win some games on the road, but a la any SEC, ACC team, you go into the enemy's house and you're a short fave. You know what usually happens in these spots. Home team, outright winners. I think me and Jesse both have winners today, even though I'm against any other one. I'm not shocked with Arkansas wins. Really, Let's be honest. These kind of games, you see them all up the board on Saturdays, right? And you take all these little home dogs like that are over a ranked team or a team that's, you get the bloated record, right? It's 15-1 coming into January. Well, who'd they beat? And then you see a team that's like 8-9 or 9-6, and they're a 1-point dog or a 1-point favorite. People are like, I got to take the ranked team. Yeah, well, see how that goes. You'll be making money taking these home teams all the time.
I trust the odds makers much more than I trust the people who vote in those polls, and you're absolutely right. Again, Sean, who hasn't read an article since 1986, finally read one a couple days ago, and look at the pertinent. When he takes the time to actually read, look what he comes up with. It's unbelievable. So anyway, all right.
9 years to the day. We're almost 9 years to the day of a true road win for the
Jesse, you got any thoughts on the UConn Marquette game? Because I can't comment. This is one of my paid selections.
I think Sean said it when he said, ranked team, short favorite on the road. You take the home team in these spots. I think Sean was absolutely correct when he said you can't pick and choose. If you're going to take that team, you got to take all teams in that situation, which has me perplexed why he's going to break that rule to go against me with my Arkansas pick, because I know he does.
Because he read an article, Jesse. He read an article.
No, I do.
Go ahead.
I'm guilty of just as the next guy. Sometimes you let your heart get in the way, kind of things. And Alabama's a team I just really kind of like. I'm like, wow, these guys. Sometimes that train gets on the track, and you're like, wow, here we go. You're seeing a nice little run. You see that whether in any kind of sport, team gets going, you're like, oh boy, I don't want to get in front of that one,
Yeah.
But as I said, Arkansas should be the play here for me. And it is what it is. For me, the heart's like, I got Alabama just looks so good, their body of work, Yeah.
Well, again, Jesse likes Arkansas as a pick 'em over Alabama. Sean, who all of a sudden became a literary whiz, is going to take Marquette plus 2.5 against UConn. I'm going to take a look at the TCU and Texas game that goes at 9:00 tonight on ESPN2. Right now, Texas is a 6.5-point favorite. This line jumped right off the board at me because TCU has been playing very well. They were beaten at home on Saturday, but they came off of 2 upset wins. Yet this is a pretty healthy number, and considering the fact the last time Texas was at home, they lost 116-103 versus Kansas State. How about Kansas State? Another win last night, Sean.
I know.
TCU coming off, like I said, a home favorite straight up loss to Iowa State. They're now 13-2, but let's not forget, folks. Let's go back a ways here. And I know they've been vastly improved down the stretch. This is still the same team that opened the season with the 73-72 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff. You know that college basketball power? Jesse, Arkansas Pine Bluff, you got a couple friends that went there that's living in Thailand now. And they were a 35.5-point favorite in that game. Now, Texas faced that same Arkansas Pine Bluff team and beat them 88-43. So if you're a proponent of commonality and head-to-head matchups, this certainly favors Texas in that regard. They also, by the way, lost at home to Northwestern State, meaning TCU, as a 22.5-point favorite. This would be the first meeting of the season between these teams. Texas swept the regular season series last year over TCU, but they got knocked out of the conference tournament by TCU. So when you come into, I like the situation when teams are playing at home and playing with tournament revenge within their same conference. Texas last home game, like I said, they were upset by Kansas State, 116-103. Raise your hand if you thought Kansas State was going to score over 100 points and I'll put it down.
In 3 games. In 3 games, they'd score over 116 points, maybe.
Yeah. And if you said that you predicted that kind of thing, then put your hand down because you're a liar. All right, they bounced back nicely, 56-46 win at Oklahoma State on Saturday. So they're now 13-2. Look, a little bit of controversy with Texas. Chris Beard with his situation with domestic, whatever that domestic charge he went was cost him his job. So Texas, Texas is going to play with a little bit of adversity. But my experience when handicapping games such as these, if it's still a quality basketball team and adversity comes up, there's usually a very strong response initially. And we saw that on Saturday, and I believe we'll see it again tonight. I like Texas here, -6 over TCU. I'll send it to you, Jesse, first. Do you have any opinion that you'd like to share on that game, whether you agree or disagree?
I like Texas. I'm with you. I like the revenge angle.
All right, Sean, have you read any articles lately on this game?
And I'm usually the guy who's like, don't read that kind of stuff, because then you get it's everything's in your head. You listen to too many people, it changes your opinion of a game, whether it's college basketball or football or whatever the sport.
I agree.
You like something, you look at the lines on Monday morning, right? The old days, you open up the paper Monday, hear the lines in the paper, you say, I kind of like this game. But then by game day, you've already seen ESPN or whatever, and you don't change your thoughts. Don't change your thoughts. It was just something that came up on the Twitter. I was like, wow, that's an interesting stat. Let me see what that said there. Because it's, anyway, but this game, Beardo, he's been out for a while, right? They suspended him for a bit.
Yeah.
And this Texas team's really good. I think they're a top 5 team for me. Right.
Yeah. They suspended him for a bit, but now the decision came down.
But he hasn't been coaching. He wasn't there. The kids hasn't been around. They've still been winning their games.
Yeah.
You get shellacked at home. What happens next game? You come out and give out 46 points after giving up 100 points in a game. That's what happens. That's all sports, right? Here comes the defense in the next game. You give up 7 goals in hockey, you're winning 3-1 in the next game. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit leery with that result. I like the way they bounced back, but Oklahoma State can't throw the ball in the ocean. They're very good defensively. And look they held Texas to 56. In any event, I just like the bounce back after that. Pretty much it was a humiliating loss.
The terrible home loss.
Yeah.
And I got a guy down here. He went to the game. He's like, they just look like totally shell shocked after that loss. You're like, what happened here?
Yeah.
That
happens though through the course of the year. We always
you have an egg. You lay an egg. I got no real opinion on this one though. I mean, I get the Texas at home for rebound at home, better team, but this isn't one I thought about today though. Honestly.
All right, Jesse, tell the folks where you prefer they find you. I'm assuming that's jesseshul.com. How you been doing of late? What you got coming up, my friend?
Well, as I already mentioned, I did have a winner on Georgia in the Natty and finished off with another fantastic top 5 college football season. Roughly 62%, I believe, with college football this year.
Wow.
Still working on getting my college basketball up to snuff. I am widely considered one of the best soccer handicappers in the world at every site I'm on, including jesseshul.com. And this Saturday, I've got a game of the year on the Manchester Derby. And I know that you guys have no idea what that is and probably don't care very much about it. That's Manchester City and Manchester United playing in the Premier League. You can get that at jesseshul.com. You'll be glad if you did.
Well, Sean, you're well informed. I call him Craig. I've been calling him Craig all year, Jesse.
You haven't in a couple
They got the same hairdo.
Well, this time it was purposeful. I just wanted to see if you're paying attention, buddy. I know you talk a lot, but do you listen? And you do. So anyway,
I'm used to talking. I do a show by myself for an hour a day. I could just
I know that. And it's a good one, by the way. That's Midday Money with Sean Higgs, and he's going to tell you about it right now. He's also going to tell you how he's been doing of late and what he may have coming up, and where they could find you.
Yeah, so I'm on Sports Capping with these two guys. So I'm at Sports Capping, Picks and Parlays, the Winning Free Pick page. Same kind of channels. They're all the same picks. There's nothing really different. Although sometimes the record's a little different because you get little lines are different. Half points here and there, it happens. But basically all the numbers are the same. And going forward here, again, Midday Money, check it out. It's wherever your favorite podcast you listen to. It's on Apple, Google. It's a fun show, a lot of free picks. College Hoops is where I'm at. Again, NBA. A whopping 13-14 record for me. I'm down $102 for the NBA season. Not running a lot of NBA out, but college hoops, baby. I think about 240 and 220, 245, 225. Again, depending on the site. Up a little bit. We can do a little better. Has been a little of a rough run, but NFL No rough run there. We are rolling in the NFL.
Yeah, you've been rolling all year. What's your your record off the top of your head in the NFL?
Oh, of course. Yeah, I got it right in front of me here. We're 125-75 and 123-69. Again, 123-69 on sports capping, 125-75 picks and parlays. Again, the totals. Yeah. Sometimes I get a push, sometimes I get a win. So always got to shop around. It's huge. It's huge. So
and for folks who don't understand that, when we go to each different site, there's several sites that offer us several lines to choose from, and others don't. So there's possibilities along the way. You're going to get a push at one site, a win at the other, a push at one site, a loss at the other, and even a win or a loss or a win, depending on the line, especially if it falls, always when it falls right around the number. All right, I'll go real quickly because we only got a couple minutes left to go. And I'll tell you what I have. I finished the college football season on an 18-7-1 run, which is 72%. Real happy with my bowl game selections that went 13-4-1. That certainly aided in that 18-7-1 finish. I did have the winner in the college football national championship game with TCU and Georgia going over the total. Not quite as I planned it to go, but at the end of the day, it's a winner.
Yes.
Last night I cashed in college basketball with Iowa State -5.5. They win 84-50 over Texas Tech. Who saw that coming? I saw it coming as a win and a cover, but I would be lying to you if I would have told you they would have won by that massive amount of points. NFL.
I know a guy who had Texas Tech.
Wow, he must not be very happy today. But you know what? At the same token, like I always say, you go to the window, you bet Texas Tech. You get them +5.5, they lose by 34. Nobody's chasing you down a day later saying you need to pay more because that was a horrible pick. A loser's a loser. Same thing.
I did get +7, if that's any consolation.
Was somebody out? Because that line opened at 4 and started climbing. So does Texas Tech missing people? Is that what that was about?
They had some injuries. It was unclear if any of those guys were going to come back.
That's it.
They'd actually played quite competitive without those guys already. They lost in overtime in their game against Oklahoma. So I knew about the injuries. I rolled the dice and got it wrong. Came up empty on that one.
Oh, you had Texas Tech. I'm sorry, Jesse.
No, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that happens, man. Yeah,
I'll be okay, Ross.
I think you'll survive.
I feel pretty good moving forward.
Okay, we got to let it roll off the bat. You can't. You're going to lose a game. Tell me,
right.
You're going to lose, folks. It happens. It's not TikTok where everybody wins all the time.
You wouldn't believe this, but it's happened before,
actually. Oh boy, you are infallible. All right.
You tell people you lose, and they look at like, oh, I can't believe it. I can't listen to this guy. Like, all right, yeah, go keep rolling on your Instagram feed and find a guy.
I like to know how many times I've been called an old man over the last year on these videos. If I got $1 for each time, I could come and visit you guys 3 times over. Anyway, my NFL, by the way, 67-52 since January 30th of last year. That's a nice streak, folks. My $100 players up $2,800 unit players up $2,826 over at Sports Memo. And I finished number 6 at Sports Memo in the NFL regular season action. So a lot of good things. rbwins.com is where you can find me. That's my personal website. That's where all my best picks, the games I bet on the most, my premium picks are posted. You could also find me at sportsmemo.com. Until the next time, and boy, I hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did, folks. Until the next time, for Jesse Schul and Sean Higgs, we like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care. God bless and good luck, folks.